Good afternoon, all. So, welcome to the course Control System. So, in the previous class, we discussed the transfer function model and we solved many numerical problems. Okay. So, now we'll take a new topic in the module 2. Okay. That is block diagrams. So, we are already in the module 2, block diagrams and signal flow graphs. In that transfer function, we have completed. And this transfer function is the model we will be using throughout now in block diagram as well as signal flow graphs also. Okay. So what is meant by block diagram? We'll try to understand. And there is a particular problem. So block diagram reduction techniques. Okay. So that techniques we'll learn today and the problems you may see in the next session. Okay. It's a theory session today. So, but interesting derivations are okay. Block diagram is a short and pictorial representation of the system which depicts each functional component or subsystem. Okay, so it will be having majorly 4 components. In that, it will depict each functional component or subsystem. Okay, as a block diagram, we'll be discussing, and then each subsystem or each component to another component, there is a flow, right? That will be indicated by the signals, flow of signals from one subsystem to another. Okay, so this is nothing but the block diagram. So this block diagram provides a simple representation of complex systems. Okay, so you know already control system is a very complex system. Many examples we have seen. It may be a nuclear reactor, it may be aeroplane, it may be automobile. Okay, it may be a simple bulb fan also. Okay, so there are complex systems are there. So that systems to study, okay, we require the mathematical models, and mathematical model we have seen differential equation model, and this is the transfer function model. And when you have a complex block diagram, we need to get its complete transfer function. Okay, so for that, this is the representation we are using. Block diagram enables calculating the overall system transfer function. Okay, so block diagram reduction. Okay, so you'll be going to find the overall system transfer function, provided that the transfer function of each of the components or subsystem are known. So when I told you here, it will have each functional component or subsystem. Okay, so that subsystem will have its own transfer function. What is transfer function? It is a ratio of output to the input. It is in Laplace transform, right? So V of S by V of V naught of S by Vi of S for electrical system. Okay, so like that, whenever you use such subsystem or component, there should be transfer function written about that. Okay, so using that and the reduction technique using, we will be finding the overall system transfer function. That is our main goal today to learn. Okay, so these are there are 4 components I told you that we'll try to show you. Okay, the components of block diagram. Okay, there are 4 components are there. The first one is the blocks. Okay, so it will be represented like a rectangular box. Okay, to represent the components or subsystems. So these rectangular box represent the components of a control system or a subsystem of a major control system, and inside that something will be written. Okay, so it is G of S indicates it is the transfer function of that particular block, okay, or the subsystem. So normally sometimes just G only we can write, or G of S also can be written. Okay, so since it is the beginning, I am using G of S everywhere, but when solving problems and all, we will be neglecting that because it will consume our time. Okay, because we know that transfer function is nothing but ratio of Laplace transform of output to the Laplace transform of input. So when we say Laplace transform, S term will be there associated with that. When we say time domain, automatically T will be there, I of T, V of T, like that. Okay, so same way, so G of S is the transfer function of the subsystem. Okay, that is about that. Okay, blocks you understood. It's a rectangular or square box will be there. Inside that, some letters will be written, G, H, like that. So that indicates the transfer function of that system. Second component is arrows. As I told you, to flow from one component to another component, there is a flow, right? So to indicate that direction of flow of signals, arrows will be used, and above the arrows some letters will be used again. It may be input, output, intermediate signals, like that. Okay, so here I have written U of S for one of the arrow that indicates input. Okay, U stands for input. In some cases it may be R also, R of S. Okay, as I told you in the very beginning. Okay, and Y of S is output. Okay, also C of S also can be used. Okay, C means controlled output, R means reference input. Okay, so that same thing in some books they will use u and y also, u of t, y of t. In Laplace transform it is u of s, y of s. So these arrows are indicated. So it will be having a tail and a head. Head will be indicated by the arrow that indicates the direction. Okay, so this is the second component. The third component of the block diagrams is summing points. Okay, so this you may be seen. Okay, so to represent the summation of two or more signals, so it will be having a circle. Okay, and then a cross X mark will be put over, and as many signals, it can have two or more signals. Okay, so normally here in problem we will be seeing two or three signals like that, not more than that. Okay, or four signals it may be. Okay, so where arrow is indicating, this is the input u of s, and it may be u1. Okay, so make it correction in notes also. It is u1 and this is u2. That means two inputs we are taking, and we are going to subtract that. How we are identifying that? So this u1 of s, where it is connecting, it will be written plus inside the box or outside. Okay, so most of the time in problems and all, they will be writing outside only because it may not be visible properly. Okay, so either it can be written inside or outside. So since it is plus, that's why here first term is plus u1 of s. Okay, then this is minus here. Sometimes it will be written outside also. That indicates minus u2 of s. So this minus sign will be multiplied with this signal and it will be written over here. So this is the output signal coming out from the summing point. So y of s is equal to u1 of s minus u2 of s. In case if you have the symbol here plus, so what you will write? So it will be u1 of s plus u2 of s. So this is about the summing point. Okay, that is the third important element of the block diagram. Okay, then the fourth element is takeoff points. Okay, so to represent the branching of a signal, so the takeoff points represent branching of a signal. That means the same signal you want to take it to another block also. Okay, so for example here there is a output u of s. Okay, so this same u of s can be given as feedback to the input, right? So feedback signal we say. So you got the results and that results is fed back to the teacher, and teacher will analyze it and try to improve some changes he will make in his teaching or in his notes or whatever, right? For that we will be taking feedback. Like so same way in block diagram, to take feedback, these takeoff points are used. Okay, so represent the branching of a signal, and this value is same as this. Okay, whatever value is there, same thing it will go over here. Okay, so this is about the four elements. So understanding this is very important. Okay, before going any further. Okay, so what are the four elements? One is blocks. It will be having rectangular or square box. Then arrows to indicate the direction of signal flow. Third one, summing points to add two or more signals. Fourth one, takeoff points to represent the branching of a signal. Okay, so we'll understand once we see the block diagrams and all. We will be familiarly using these. Okay, but we will be discussing now what is its name. Okay, so next one, I will take one simple example. You've seen this network, okay, electrical network or electrical system earlier also, and we have written the transfer function of this. Okay, the same thing can be represented in block diagram manner. How it is possible? So you have to take the KVL of this input loop. So what you will get, Vi of t is equal to R into I of t plus 1 by C integration I of t, right? So this equation you know. Similarly, V naught of t is nothing but 1 by C integration I of t. So both equation we know. We have done this problem, okay, in transfer function. That's why I'm not discussing it. And when you take the Laplace transform of that, so you'll get equation. Then you take the ratio V naught of s by Vi of s. What you will get? 1 by 1 plus SRC. Yesterday's problem also we have did it. Okay, so that's why I hope you can recall that. Two systems are analogous, mechanical and electrical. We have taken the same network I have taken there. That's why I'm not doing the derivation. But what is the transfer function of this block diagram? It is V naught of s by Vi of s is equal to 1 by 1 plus s into RC. Okay, so this same thing we will represent in block diagram this manner. So this is the rectangular box. Okay, it is called as block. What is the transfer function of this block? It is 1 by 1 plus SRC. So what is the input to this block? Vi of s. What is the output of this block? V naught of s. Simple. Earlier I have taken U of s and Y of s. Same way you can take anything. If a mechanical system is there, it is F of s and this is X of s. Displacement, right? So like that, you can write any system, you can write its block diagram. Okay, so this is a simple one now. Okay, so if you have a complex system, if you have a complex system, so how you are going to find out the overall system transfer function, that is our main aim. Okay, so before we do that, so we'll have a simple derivation here of a simple minor closed loop system. Okay, that is they will ask in exam, that's why it is considered here. Okay, 5 to 6 marks this question is really asked. So this is one of the theory question. Okay, so block diagram of a closed loop system, so this indicates the simple closed loop system. Okay, and derivation of its transfer function. Okay, so that they will ask. For that, this block diagram is considered now. So what you have here is the components first we try to understand. Okay, so I told you in the block diagram there are 4 things are there. All the 4 things are there in this block diagram. One is the G of S. This is the block, one of the block. This is one block and this is another block. Okay, rectangular box. It is having its own transfer function, G of S and H of S. Okay, then second thing is arrows. You are seeing arrows here, R of S coming to a summing point, then E of S coming to this one, and then C of S going out of G of S. Then the same thing, it is going to this one. Okay, so like that, here there should be arrow. Okay, like that. Okay, so these are arrows. Second, third thing is summing point. You have the summing point over here, and the fourth one is takeoff point. This normally not written as small circle, just will take like this. Okay, meaning here it is a branching of a signal. Okay, so takeoff point. So all the 4 things are shown here. So now we'll try to understand the notations here. Okay, so each of the output we are, so this is the input R of S. Okay, I told you it will be taken some books U of S, some books R of S. So normally here we'll take R of S, and this is the B of S, nothing but the error signal, output of the feedback signal. So this is H of S is feedback block, output of this is given as B of S. Okay, so what is coming over here, that is C of S, the output only given to the feedback. Okay, so for example, you took network theory results. Okay, so network theory results came from a system. Okay, so you have written the exam and from VTU announced the results, that is the output. The same results is fed back to particular teachers and students. So now student side also you will correct it, right? So you will make some changes in your routine and your reading style or whatever. Same way teachers also will change something, okay, to improve next time the results. Okay, so that output will be called as B of S. Okay, so and again the same R of S and B of S will be clubbed in the summing point, and an error signal is generated, either plus or minus. Okay, so error signal means a deviation, what we have to do to the present thing. Okay, we have to improve. So this time you have taken 60%, means next time you have to improve for 70%, right? Or 65%, something like that. That is plus 5% you have to increase. Accordingly, you have to make changes in your study. Okay, so that is one example I'm showing here. So like that, these elements are there. So this complete block diagram, when it derived, so it will have this form, that is G divided by 1 plus G into H, or G of S by 1 plus G of S H of S. And one thing you observe here, so if you have a minus sign in the feedback loop, so in the denominator you will get a plus here. Okay, if you have a plus over here, accordingly here minus sign will come. Okay, accordingly here 1 minus G of S H of S will come. That how it will come, it is by the proof. So that proof only we are doing here for 6 marks. So this is the block diagram we are taking for reference. Okay, R of S input, G of S is the forward transfer function we say, H of S is feedback loop. Okay, this is the output of the feedback, this is the error signal, and this is the output C of S. Okay, so final transfer function will have only input and output. The intermediate, all these summing points, G of S, H of S, takeoff point, everything is removed and made it a one simple transfer function, that is G divided by 1 plus G into H. Okay, so since it is a first one, I am writing G of S, H of S. Normally it is understood. Okay, it is all in S domain only. So we'll see how we derive this. Figure A shows the block diagram of a negative feedback system. Why it is called negative feedback? Because minus sign is shown there. Okay, so in the feedback, if it is written plus, it is a positive feedback system. And even you know that negative feedback means negative feedback amplifier, positive feedback means it will become an oscillator. Okay, So in analog circuits, next we will be learning that about that. Okay. So here it is a negative feedback system with reference to the figure. The technology used in terminology used in block diagrams of control system is given below. Whatever I have explained, I have written over here. R of S is nothing but reference input. C of S is nothing but output signal, or it is also called as controlled output or controlled variable. Then B of S is the feedback signal, and E of S is the error signal, or it is also called as actuating signal, actuating the control system, right? Making changes. So now we will consider each of the transfer function here. There are two blocks are there. One is G of S we have. So what is that G of S? If we write the transfer function, it is output by input. What is the output of that G of S block? It is C of S. And what is input to that? Actuating signal, E of S. That's why it is written C of S by E of S. Okay. So, and this terminology we call it as forward path transfer function because it is in the upper path and it is called as the moving path, right? Forward path. Okay. Next one, we have similarly H of S. Okay. Another block we have H of S. What is its output? B of S, feedback signal, right? And what is its input? Output coming from the block C of S. Okay. So while writing maybe mistake, so you correct it in notes. Okay. B of S by C of S. This is called as the transfer function of the feedback element. Okay. So that is this one. So now we'll start our this one. Okay. So if we consider both multiplication, G of S into H of S, so what we will get? B of S by E of S. How you got this? G of S we know, C of S by E of S. Okay. And this is B of S by C of S. C of S, E of S cancel out. Remaining is B of S by E of S. Okay. So we complete one loop. Okay. So E of S was the input and B of S was the output. So that is called as simply loop transfer function. There is no feedback or forward path, just we call loop transfer function when we have a multiplication of G and H. Okay. Then T of S, the overall transfer function or overall system transfer function. That's what we defined first, right? That we call it as T of S. Okay. This T of is nothing but the final. C of S is the actual output. R of S is the reference input. So this is the ratio. This is called as the closed loop transfer function. Okay. So these are all the terminologies. I try to define it. So what is asked in the question? Derive the closed loop transfer function of a simple closed loop system, right? So that is a closed loop system and its closed loop transfer function we are going to derive. Okay, that is T of S we have to derive. So we'll start with the figure. So you have the picture in mind. Okay, closed loop system. So from figure we know already G of S definition. It is C of S by E of S. From that, what is C of S is about? Okay, so one more thing I will try to show you. So the transfer function is also nothing but like a gain. Okay, let's clear it. Okay, so what is this? C of S is nothing but here. C of S is nothing but transfer function into input. What is input coming over there? Okay, or if you write the transfer function, it is output by input. So both way you can define. Okay, so for example, voltage gain means output voltage by input voltage, right? So for example, previously in analog circuits you have learned, right? AV is the voltage gain. Okay, so here output is V0. Okay, in MOSFET it is VD, it may be. Okay, for simply I will say V0 and the input is Vi. Okay, so what is its voltage gain now? Output by input, V0 by Vi. But if you want to write the output V0, how you write? AV into Vi, right? The same way here. So the C of S is nothing but G of S into E of S. Similarly, if you want to write the B of S is nothing but what? H of S into what is input? C of S to this block, right? H of S into C of S. Similarly, what is E of S here? It is a summing point over here. So you have to carefully denote the sign. E of S is nothing but plus is there. That's why plus R of S. And here minus is there. This is called as negative feedback, I told you. So it is minus B of S. R of S minus B of S. Okay. So all these small terminologies you should know. And then you have to substitute it. You will get the simple derivation. Okay. Okay, so from figure we have, that is what? C of S is equal to G of S into E of S. Make it equation 1. A simple derivation. Okay, So try to understand. So then what will take B of S, another signal that is in the feedback loop you have. B of S is given as C of S is the input, H of S is the transfer function of that block, right? So you got two equation, and then the error signal is given as plus R of S, I told you this, and minus B of S. Now what you have to do, you have to use these three equation to derive the things. First thing what I will do, B of S I will substitute. B of S I know, C of S into H of S. I will substitute that here. So once you get the C of S, H of S, then you know what is C of S. So C of S I will substitute G of S into E of S. So like that I will do, and then I will club it, and I will get the finally the C of S by R of S. I should make a single equation where I will get both C of S and R of S in single equation. Okay, so then you can easily find the transfer function. Okay, so hope these three equations you understood. C of S, B of S, and error signal. Okay, from the figure only we are writing this. Next one we'll substituting. Okay, so next thing is substituting equations 3 and 2 in equation 1. Okay, one step by step we are doing. First equation, C of S equal to G of S into E of S. What is E of S? Error signal from equation 3. It is R of S minus B of S. Okay, so then we will multiply this G of S into R of S minus G of S into B of S. Oh, simplified it. So next thing what you know the B of S signal. Okay, so G of S, R of S as it is we are writing here. Just a minute. Okay, so G of S, R of S as it is we are writing. Then for B of S I am substituting. What is B of S from equation 2? It is C of S into H of S. So once you got all these things, so here you have one C of S term, and here you have C of S term. So both you can club it, and you have the R of S term in this. Okay, so just rearrange it, C of S one side and R of S one side, then club it, and you take the ratio, you'll get the transfer function. Okay, so I have taken that same thing. So this minus is there, I have taken left side, so it becomes plus here, G of S, H of S into C of S. So G of S, H of S, and then C of S is written, and here right side remaining is G of S into R of S. So now C of S is common here, so if I take that, so what you will get, 1 plus G of S H of S equal to G of S R of S. Okay, so now R of S is there here and C of S is there here. So as like previous, so just take the transfer function C of S by R of S, then G of S will come in the numerator, and in the denominator you will get 1 plus G of S H of S. So this is the block diagram transfer function of a negative feedback closed loop system. How you say negative? Because here plus is come, right? So in case if you have a in the block diagram feedback signal B of S is going plus there, okay, positive feedback system it was going, so then your equation will be here, E of S will be R of S plus B of S, everything it is going to come plus. So this is going to be plus, then you have to take C of S that side, here it will come minus, so here it will come minus, and when you take the ratio also it will come minus. Understood? It will come little bit opposite. Negative feedback system is there, then it will come plus here. Positive feedback system is there, then it will come minus over here. Okay, so this is one note you have to make from that. Okay, so this is the derivation they will ask for 6 marks. Okay, very simple derivation. So this is the block diagram. So here we have taken minus. Okay, if we have taken here plus, then denominator it will come 1 minus G of S H of S here. Okay, 1 minus G of S H of S. So how you got this derivation? You understood now. Okay, so you have to define each of the signals, each of the blocks. Okay, then you have from figure you have to define C of S, B of S, and D of S. You have to substitute in equation 1. Okay, so step by step you have to substitute and group the C of S term and R of S term. Take the ratio C of S by R of S, you will get the transfer function. Okay, so hope it is clear. So now the actual problems. Okay, so this is about the basic introduction about the block diagrams. Okay, so what is block diagram? What are the components of block diagram? And we have seen one example of electrical system, how we can write a block diagram, and then the block diagram transfer function. Okay, so it will be used when reduction and all we will be using it. So now the second part of block diagram is the solving problems or the simplification of control systems. Okay, so for that the technique used is block diagram reduction technique. or block diagram reduction rules we call. Okay, so there are set of 8 to 10 rules are there. 8 rules are used for solving problems. The rule number 9 and 10 are called as critical rules. Okay, so that if specifically mentioned in the problem only, we will do it. Otherwise, it will be just left over, and normally theory question will be asked on that. Okay, so rule 9 and 10, how you implement that? Theory question will be asked on that. So that is the second theory. And the first 8 normally theory questions they won't ask. Problems will be there. So problems you are implementing that 8 rules. Okay, so that is our idea. Okay, so what is that? We will just introduce to you. Okay, block diagram reduction refers to simplification of block diagrams of complex systems through certain rearrangements. Okay, and the simplification enables easy calculation of the overall transfer function of the system. Now we have seen a very simple block diagram, right? If you have a number of block diagrams, number of feedback elements, number of summing points, number of takeoff points, like that, if you see some block diagram, how are you going to simplify that? Okay, that is a challenging thing. Okay, simplification is done using the certain rules called as the rules of block diagram algebra. That's what I told you. Block diagram reduction rules. It is called as block diagram reduction techniques, or it is also called as rules of block diagram algebra. So all these terms are same. Okay, all these rules are derived by simply algebraic manipulations of the equations representing the blocks. Even the how we derive these rules also very simple. Okay, so now our first goal is to understand these 8 rules. Before that, I will show you one problem. Okay, because if I didn't show you the final picture, and if I try to explain the rules, so you may be not understanding that. So I will show you one question, exam question, 8 marks or 10 marks. This is the question they will ask. For the block diagram shown in figure, determine the transfer function, overall transfer function C of S by R of S. So where is the C of S here? Just see in the diagram, C of S is here. Okay, and R of S is here. You have to take the ratio C of S by R of S, what is coming, using the block diagram reduction technique. So how many blocks are there here? This is the forward blocks G1, G2, G3, and H1, H2, H3, and here G4, and there are summing points are, and there are takeoff points are there. So when you have such a complex system, this is called as a complex system, you have to simplify it. So how we are going to simplify it? So in the blocks are also not uniformly distributed here. G1 in between takeoff point came, between G2 and G3 summing point came, between summing point and a block here takeoff point came. So like there are many issues are there. So how to solve that? That is what the block diagram reduction technique or rules about. Okay, so we'll discuss one by one the rules. So how much possible, that much we will cover today. So remaining we will take in the next class. Okay, the first rule. So we'll start with the simple rules and go to the complicated one. Okay, so that you will understand or take the flow. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. So first rule is combining blocks in cascade. Okay, so you have two blocks in series, or it is also called as cascade. Okay, and there is no summing point or takeoff point in between. Just observe that. Okay, there is nothing is there. If two blocks are continuously in series, so then it can be multiplied, G1 into G2. The transfer function can be multiplied. To prove this, these are the diagrams itself, it will prove you. Okay, so this is the input U, and this is the block diagram transfer function. Since there are many blocks we'll be using, we'll call it as G1, G2, G3 like that. And many feedback loops also there, we'll call it as H1, H2, H3 like that. Okay, so don't worry about that. So far we are just discussing G and H. Now there are numbers are there, that's why G1, G2, H1, H2 like that we'll use it. Okay, but input and output will not be many, so it is a single input, single output system. Very first classification of control system I told you, right? We'll be discussing a linear time invariant system. We'll be discussing a dynamic system. We'll be discussing a single input, single output system. Okay, that means whatever transfer block diagram you will have, you will see a single input. Either it is a R of T, R of S, or U of S. Output will be only one, C of S, or it is Y of S. Okay, that will not change. If multiple input, multiple output is there, then it is a complex. That part you are not going to study at this level. Okay, so G1. So if you multiply, what is the output of this block? U into G1. And now this input is given to G2 block. So what will be the output? U, G1, G2. So now this can be equivalent to this one, making two blocks into a single block. And what is the transfer function of that? Just multiplication of these individual transfer functions, G1, G2. And if you apply input U here, so you'll get the same output. If this diagram and this diagram result is coming same, then we can use that rule. Okay. The transfer functions of the blocks which are connected in series get multiplied with each other. So this is the explanation for this picture. Hope you understood this. We'll use it in problems, so then you will understand this. Okay, so to prove this, this pictorial and explanation is shown here. Okay, first rule is, if blocks are in cascade, just we'll multiply its individual transfer function. Okay. Okay, so the next one is, you have seen now series. Similarly, we'll see the parallel. Okay, combining blocks in parallel. If the blocks are in parallel, okay, so when we say parallel, there is a summing point will come into picture here. Okay, so this is always remember. So summing point will come into picture. Okay, how you have to add also, it will be shown at the summing point. So see here plus is there, here minus is there. Okay, so in normally in some textbook they will show outside also. I have shown inside, and it will be shown like this, plus minus. So what is this indication? So what you will get here is U into G1, right? So when you write the output of this block, it is input into transfer function, U into G1. Similarly here, what you will get at the downside, the same input you are taken, right? So branching, takeoff point it is. Okay, so U into G2, U into G2. So how you have to add it here? So it is here plus is there, that's why U into G1. So direct answer it is written. So this is U into G1 in the upper block, and the downside it is written. Okay, either it can be used plus or minus, both they can use. So if they use minus here, so it will be minus U into G of 2. Okay, so since it is a theory, I have taken both the signals here, plus minus. The meaning here is, if you have a plus here, so you'll get plus. There is no change in the signal here. Okay, so if you have a plus here, you'll get plus here. Then U is common, so G1 plus G2. If minus is there, U common, G1 minus G2. Like that you are getting. So when you have such representation, then what you can do, you can just add those blocks. Okay, so based on the signal, so plus minus you can add it. Only one block you can make. So it is called as G1 plus or minus G2 into U. Okay, so it will give you the same answer as this block. The transfer function of the blocks which are connected in parallel get added or subtracted algebraically considering the sign. Okay, so this is the second rule. So this first rule and second rule, these are the very first rule we will apply for any block. So when a block diagram reduction is given, first thing is rule 1 we will check, is there any blocks in series? Second rule is we will check any blocks in parallel. Okay, so if these two are not there, then we'll go for third rule. Okay, so the third rule is about the same thing which we have derived the transfer function, right? Previously, if you have a simple feedback loop, eliminating a feedback loop. Okay, previously we have derived this. Okay, so you had the R of S there, and then G of S, H of S, here C of S and B of S was there. Just for this, I have changed the names here. Okay, in the place of R of S, I have U. Summing point is there, then forward path transfer function G, H, and here this is the signal, not named it. Okay, so just output of this you have written. Okay, So what is G here? So it is going to get, so if you have a single forward path block, single feedback path loop, one summing point and one takeoff point is there. So this we call it as a minor feedback loop. Okay. Okay, this is called as a minor feedback loop. When you have such representation in your block diagram, you have to identify that. Okay, so when you get this, so just you can replace it by a formula. What is that formula? We have just derived. Okay, so that is the transfer function. So in this case, it is U into G. That is previously I have done, no, G into R of S, like that. Okay, and if you have a plus sign here, it will come minus here. If you have a plus sign here, it will come minus here. Okay, so that is the thing. So that can be replaced just by this block diagram. This includes eliminating a simple feedback loop by using standard result derived earlier. Okay, so these are the main 3 rules. Remaining 5 rules are there. So that I will take up in next class since time is running. Okay, so these 3 rules you go through. I will share you the notes of this. Okay, complete one, whatever I am discussing tomorrow, also theory part. So write it completely. So tomorrow we will discuss the rule 4 and then we'll take the problems. Okay.